Coming up on Whether or Not, we have a fiery show from wildfires near Yosemite to our neighbors up north. Then we'll cool off in Siberia and dive into some enormous holes. Then, back on the home front, Christy Reuille will tell us if we're going to start out August with more cool conditions or seasonable temperatures. All that and more because Whether or Not starts right now. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Ryan Belz.
And I'm your forecaster, Christy Reuille.
It was a cool end to July out there this week.
It sure was, Ryan. We saw some high temperatures, about 10 to 15 degrees below average, so definitely not your typical end to July. But hey, you might have been able to turn off that air conditioner a little bit and save on that electric bill.
Definitely, because we haven't been experiencing those summer-like temperatures that we're used to.
That's right. So I don't think many people were complaining.
Yeah, definitely not. I wasn't, that's for sure. Is this going to continue into the start of August? Or?
Well, we should see temperatures moderate a little bit, especially as we head into this weekend. But when I say moderate, we're just getting back a little bit closer to average.
Okay, so that's still pretty good for this time of the year.
That's right.
We'll have your full forecast coming right up, but now it's time for Nature in the News.
A third enormous hole has appeared in Siberia. The first hole was found over 160 feet wide and nearly 230 feet deep. The second hole found was reported to be smaller, and the third newly discovered hole is reported to be the smallest of the three holes, at only 13 feet wide. The cause of the holes has yet to be determined, but one scientist has an idea. Anna Kurchatova, a scientist at the Subarctic Scientific Research Center, said the area was formerly a sea nearly 10,000 years ago, but is now a frozen mixture of salt, sand, gas, and water that is melting as the Earth warms. The melting has caused gas to be released and in turn is causing underground explosions similar to a champagne cork popping off a bottle. And Kurchatova believes the underground explosions are causing the mysterious enormous holes.
Thunderstorms are common throughout many parts of the United States during the summer months, but near Los Angeles, that doesn't hold true. California experiences their dry season during the summer. And Kevin Trenbreth, a senior scientist in climate analysis at the National Center for Atmospheric Research, said that lightning is extremely unusual in the Los Angeles area because the weather is so heavily influenced by the ocean, which tends to stabilize the air, whereas thunderstorms need unstable conditions to form. However, this past Sunday, a thunderstorm popped up without much warning. The storm, which caught many off guard, was reported to have caused a large amount of cloud-to-ground lightning. Lightning from the storm caused the death of a 21-year-old man and injured 13 others on Venice Beach near Los Angeles. Closer to home, this past Monday between 7 and 8 p.m., 637 lightning strikes hit the Center County region. That's nearly 10 strikes per minute. The National Weather Service says it was one of the strongest electrical storms we've seen in many years. The lightning throughout Center County was also the cause of a fire at a Ferguson Township condominium.
This past Monday, the National Weather Service confirmed the first tornado in Suffolk County, Massachusetts, which includes the city of Boston, since at least 1950. The EF2 tornado caused damage throughout Revere and Chelsea, Massachusetts, which are suburbs of Boston. The EF2 tornado had maximum winds of 120 miles per hour, traveled for 2 miles, and was 3/8 of a mile wide. Nearly 3,000 residents were left without power, 65 homes and businesses were damaged, and 13 were deemed uninhabitable. Damage included partial building and roof collapses, downed trees and power lines, blown out windows, and numerous cars crushed by fallen trees. As a result of the storm, there were reports of 6 people with minor injuries. Closer to the city of Boston, flooding was more of an issue than severe weather. Standing water caused the temporary closure of several downtown roads. This is the third tornado warning to be issued by the National Weather Service in Boston this year.
32,000 wildfires have occurred across the nation so far this year and have burnt more than 1.6 million acres. 60% of the western United States is in a moderate to exceptional drought, and this is just fueling the fires. The drought throughout the West is fueling the fires so much that it's creating what are called megafires, which burn faster and hotter. According to Shelley Crook of Stentelius National Forest, there is a lot of fuel available for the fires. Many believe the front lines of the fires are now also the front lines of climate change because of the longer and more devastating fire season. Chief Ken Plymouth of CAL FIRE says we have the potential for year-round fire activity anywhere in California. A wildfire currently near Yosemite National Park is only about a third of the way contained and is continuing to grow to over 2,500 acres. The fire, called the El Portal Fire, has destroyed one home in Foresta, California, and threatened many others, while also causing the evacuation of hundreds from Yosemite National Park. The El Portal Fire comes less than a year after a similar fire left thousands of acres near Yosemite scorched. And now here's Christy with our Central Pennsylvania forecast. How are we starting out August, Christy?
Well, Ryan, we have been seeing some unseasonable temperatures, that is for sure, but things should moderate just a bit as we head into August. We should get back closer to average, unlike we saw this past week when even on the 30th, we tied a record low high temperature. Temperatures only got up to 66 degrees, which tied the record back from '01. But, like I said, things should be a bit better for the weekend. So on Friday, how things are shaping up, we've seen this front off the coast that moved through earlier in the week, and that's what brought us this cooler weather, and it's still just sitting there off the coast, not really affecting our weather much on Friday. Most of the showers with the next system are still back in the Great Lakes region, so we should be mostly clear. It will be the best weather of the weekend, so if you do have outdoor plans, Friday night, Saturday morning, that's going to be the best time for it this weekend. So you'll want to enjoy that while it's here. As we head into Saturday, things get a bit dicier. That pesky little front still off the coast. We'll be bringing us a few more scattered showers and storms on Saturday. So you'll want to keep an eye out for those. Nothing too widespread. Our showers and storms become more widespread as we head into Sunday, mainly off to our east, but some of it will affect us here in the State College area. So you'll want to watch out for that, especially if you have outdoor plans. Grab that jacket. You don't want to be caught off guard, but be careful if there's lightning around. You don't want to be using that umbrella. For right here in State College for the weekend, high of 81 degrees, getting back up closer to average. Our average is right around that for this time of year. And you will see a mix of clouds and sun. Not gorgeous sunshine like we like to see in the summer, but not too shabby nonetheless. I don't think anyone's been complaining about this cooler weather we've been seeing. It's been quite the relief from the usual summertime heat. Friday night, great sleeping weather. Hopefully you're able to leave that air conditioner turned off and save a little bit of money on those electric bills for this month. Only around 58 degrees for the low. Shower or two starting to creep into the area, but mainly cloudy skies. Saturday, again, cool temperatures, only around 78 degrees, and those showers and storms becoming more widespread, especially in the afternoon hours. And we will continue to see them into Saturday night. 60 degrees for a low temperature, not complaining about that sleeping weather at all. And on Sunday, more widespread showers and storms throughout the area with a high right around 80 degrees. We'll be right back in just a minute with more Nature in the News. Summer travel season for one popular location has brought caution to its visitors. Within 2 days, 2 people were killed by lightning at Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. On July 11th and 12th, a 42-year-old woman and a 52-year-old man were killed. Several more were injured, including 7 more hikers on the Ut Crossing Trail, 11,400 feet above sea level. The husband of the woman said that the storm came very fast. There was rain and lightning, but no thunder. He said he was pleased with the park's response to the event when it hit. These are the park's first lightning fatalities in 14 years. The state of Colorado has an average of 3 deaths and 25 injuries per year because of lightning, often ranking it number 2 in the nation behind Florida.
The middle of July brought record-breaking temperatures that made it feel like fall in the Plain States. Lows in the upper Midwest were in the 40s and 50s. On Thursday, July 17th, Kansas City set a record low of 55 degrees for that day. Last week, however, heat indices were 100 plus, causing heat advisories to be issued. The National Weather Service showed some concern over this because the central United States has been relatively cool this summer, and they were worried that it would catch them off guard. Places like Kansas City weren't seeing any relief overnight either, as low temperatures were reaching the mid-70s. During heat advisories, remember to wear light-colored clothing and drink plenty of water.
After several fires tore through much of the West, especially the Pacific Northwest, the 2014 wildfire season is said to have been, quote, worse than usual. Summer is always a bad time for the West when it comes to fires, but the season started early this year, and it doesn't seem to be letting up. 7 new fires were reported within the past week and a half, 3 in Oregon, 2 in Washington, 1 in Louisiana, and 1 in Arizona. One particular Washington fire was said to have been started by lightning and has burned a total of 400 square miles northeast of Seattle. The Washington National Guard was on the scene with helicopters to help with the fires. President Obama declared a state of emergency in Washington last Wednesday, authorizing FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security to coordinate disaster relief. Due to severe drought conditions in the Pacific Northwest, above normal fire potential will remain for July and August, and possibly further into the fall season.
Wildfires have been ongoing in Ontario and Western Canada and have burned millions of acres of land. These fires are expected to affect areas across the Great Lakes to the northeast in locations as far as Chicago and New York City. Residents downwind of the fires will be experiencing reduced air quality due to the traveling smoke from the fires. Not only can this cause health issues, motorists are advised to take precaution as it could cause issues by lowering visibility. Areas more local to the fires, the upper Midwest and northern Great Lakes, will experience the densest smoke. The excess particles in the atmosphere will, however, cause more vibrant sunsets.
We're back with your extended forecast, but before we get to next week, let's go ahead and take one more look at this weekend. If you have outdoor plans, you're going to want to make them for earlier in the weekend. That will give you a better chance of the rain not getting in the way, as we see a better chance of rain as we move throughout the weekend. Temperatures, though, will be moderating back closer to average. We see highs on Friday right around 81 degrees, a bit cooler on Saturday, 78. But then around 80 again on Sunday. Clouds and sun, a mixture on Friday, but then a chance of rain more on Saturday, and then an even better chance of rain as we head into Sunday. So like I said, outdoor plans are going to be best made earlier in the weekend. And then as we look ahead to your extended forecast for next week, we see that for the beginning half of the week, we should be relatively dry, sunnier on Tuesday than on Monday. And then as we move into the latter half of the week, we see a better chance for storms and some showers to be moving through the area as another system moves through on Thursday into Friday that will bring us some cooler air as well, like we saw earlier this week.
Thanks for that forecast, Christy. And now, before we run out of time, we're going to take a look back at our Weather Whiz question that we asked you earlier in the show, and it was, on average, from 2004 to 2013, how many wildfires did we average each year throughout the United States? Was it A, 46,684, B, 27,464, C, 70,215, or D, 53,877? Well, if you answered A, you're correct. 46,684 was the average number of wildfires we saw between 2004 and 2013. Last year we were slightly below average with just over 27,000 wildfires. So that was nice to be under average.
That's a very good thing, below average. I know the firefighters out west probably are wishing for that year again.
That's for sure, because we're on track for an average year to even possibly above average this year.
That's right, but with our cooler temperatures, and we've been seeing quite a bit of rain the past few weeks, hopefully we'll keep the wildfire threat down here at least. Although we did see that fire just this past week in Ferguson Township, as we mentioned earlier in the show, when lightning struck a condominium.
And even some of the smoke from up in the Canada wildfires has been making its way down, so hopefully some nice sunsets from that coming up.
That's right, but hopefully that's the only effect of the wildfires we see
Right,
here
exactly.
in State College.
Exactly. So that's all the time we have for today's show. We'd like to thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Ryan Belz.
And I'm your forecaster, Christy Reuille. Have a wonderful weekend.